Hey, what do you get when you mix 816 students, 4,378 community hours, and almost $22,000 raised over 3 different areas?
I think you get one awesome Project 25. That's what we're going to talk about today on the UIC show. Woohoo! Welcome to the UIC show, where we're all about building next generation leaders. My name is Joemel.
I'm Brent.
And on the sound booth we have...
My name's Jesse. Wait, no, Chris.
That sounded genuine for a second. I was like, good acting. Well done. We have Chris back there. We have Jesse's out of commission for the day. But
doing ministry, back on school campus.
That's right.
He's back on campus
That's
doing
awesome.
Campus Club.
It's exciting.
It's where
That's
we want to
cool.
be. That's
exactly.
good.
Well, we could start a whole episode about that.
COVID's
alone.
almost over.
Exactly. We're almost at the bright end of the. What's that expression go? The
right end of the
light
rainbow?
at the end of the
Light at the
tunnel.
end
of the tunnel.
Yeah,
It's
there
light
we
at
go.
the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, that's gold at the end of the rainbow, right?
That's a leprechaun.
Well, today we want to talk about Project 25. If you
yep.
don't know, the reason why we haven't had an episode in a couple of weeks is we're still like on our hangover from Project 25 night. Not like an alcoholic hangover,
Oh,
but just a
gosh.
tired hangover. Just to clarify.
So what is the 25 in the hangover? 25 kinds of kids loving Jesus.
Exactly. But it was such an awesome night. It was such a good time. Brent, could you kick us off? For anyone who doesn't know what Project 25 is or what
Yes.
Project 25 night was, what was it?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with alcohol.
Nope.
That was just the stupidness between us.
Different kind of hangover.
Yeah, Project 25 is an all-inclusive, student-led movement that does community service with local schools, churches, and it's basically 3 months of who can serve and who can do great community service for the most amount of people, with the most amount of money raised, with the most creative type projects. So we had schools all over San Diego. We had schools in Tijuana. We had schools all over Atlanta. And all of these junior hires and high schoolers had been working the last couple of months trying to figure out to take $100, they got a $100 grant, and trying to figure out how to raise more money with that money so that they can invest it into people, into resources, and to do the most amount of good in the shortest amount of time, and then put it on a YouTube video and then let people vote. So Project 25 was, our celebration was the coming together of all the schools celebrating all the great work that God had done over the last couple of months.
Awesome.
So that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit.
Yeah, perfect description. And if that wasn't enough and you want to know more, we'll put some links for other videos that maybe go more in depth, some previous episodes and maybe some like explanation videos. But this is something we've been doing for, what was this, our 12th or 13th year?
12th year.
12th year of...
Absolutely. And it's definitely been one of the most different ones. Chris, you've been here for since almost the beginning. Like, how is this year different considering, the big events?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest difference would be the amount of hours. We've seen tons of hours when kids are able to be out in public normally.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of the biggest difference we've seen is just, you got to get really creative now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so,
Makes sense.
you're not quite able to do the types of things that you were able to do when things were back normal. But otherwise, I mean, we had kids serving in Jesus' name, which has been the same for the whole thing. So,
Right.
the project remains the same. Just it's been more difficult this year. So.
More difficult to implement. I heard one of the schools just say, like, he could plan and the kids could do all the work and gather all the stuff, but as far as like doing hands-on with the place that their ministry money was going, they couldn't walk into the facility because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so they had to like take stuff and then drop it off, but thousands of dollars worth of resources, game equipment, backpacks, everything. But he said it was hard because the kids have done all this work for months, and then they want to see where that stuff's going to. They don't want to just like take it to a door and then leave it with an organization.
Yeah.
We had to do that at Hoover High School too. Like we took resources, materials, water to a couple schools, and we had to drop it off, but we couldn't go to the student lounge or the teacher's lounge.
Yeah.
We had to leave it at the front because of rules on walking on campus during COVID. And then the maintenance people had to come take everything that we had gathered, and then they just like carted it off. And it was like very kind of anticlimactic because it was like we're so excited, we wanted some high fives and some whatever,
tearful hugs.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's like two people in the front saying, check in, sign in, do your temperature check, and you can't cross the yellow line.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, well, here's your stuff.
Here we go. Well, so I mean, I think it was fair to say it was difficult. It was different. But of course, like one of the things that Nate said was it wasn't impossible. And by God's grace, it happened. So would you describe it as a success, Brent, overall?
Oh, yeah. I think it was definitely a success. I think anytime you get kids that have been pent up for the better part of a year actually doing something outside of themselves other than Fortnite or whatever games they were playing. Like
Among Us.
Among Us. That's been they should mix Fortnite and Among Us.
I'm surprised that that's not a thing yet.
Among Night.
Among Night? So that could change the
Fort
whole
us.
episode. Someone write this down. Copyright UIC show.
Game changer, literally.
Yeah, when Fortnite Among Us comes out, we'll send this over to the guys at Epic Games and sue them.
And some of our gamers are going to say, duh, it's already there.
It's already there, dude. Don't you play
It's called,
Fort Among Us? Fort Among Us? Bro.
Anyway, so it was very successful. Getting kids out of the house and doing stuff. Getting them to start thinking about the re-immersion. Like we are emerging out of where we're coming from.
Absolutely.
And so I think just getting people to that spot where life is going to happen and letting kids get to the place that they're like, this isn't going to last forever. And the season has been really, really hard, especially for like school kids of multiple ages of families in one house, where everybody's like sharing a computer, trying to figure out how do we do Zoom calls, and then like all the different age groups. So I think just that part of it, what I was hearing was that kids were excited to get out and do something again.
Absolutely.
Right.
Not to say this wasn't all we did, but if all we did was just get 300-400 kids out of the house in the name of Jesus, and that would have been a success.
It could
but
still
of course,
be good.
We did so much more than that, which is awesome. So one of the other things is like, let's each go around and like share like kind of one fond memory, like something cool, exciting, enjoyable, or just even like a fond memory from that night. Chris, maybe you can lead us off. I know you had a lot of your kids out there helping out. Mm-hmm. What's your memory?
Yeah, I would say it being outside was pretty sweet, pretty cool. Yeah. Not that we will probably do that again unless we're very intentional on it. It took a ton of work. And, It was just really cool to see kind of the difference of, because every other year, and you haven't even haven't been able to see it.
This was my first.
Yeah, every other year, other than last year, obviously, where it was all online. But every year, it's an outdoor pre-party and then inside a sanctuary. Yeah. And so this year, it kind of had this festival type feel, and we were taking kids from the pre-party and like, hey, the thing has started now. You got to stop.
Trying to get them to
you
look
got
at
to
the
stop
stage.
playing games.
Yeah. Air hockey was too good.
So but with that being said, like I said, it being outdoors was just so awesome to see and experience and just see the difference of how it unfolds. So
right. I think it had to be like festival-ish this year. So even with the struggles of trying to get everybody to focus on the stage, I'd probably say 95% of the crowd of the 400 people that were there were focused on the stage. Yeah. And you're always going to have wanderers. Sure. And I'm sure like even when we were indoors, we always had kids going to the bathroom.
I got to go to the bathroom.
That's your seventh time to go to the bathroom. You got a problem?
Exactly.
Not that I was asking kids that, but I'm just saying that's going to happen. So I just think that
I also had to use the bathroom once it started, so I'm like, am I one of those kids?
No, once or twice is fine, but the bathroom monitors, no.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, but I just think it was cool, the openness, like even with the wanderers around, like some of the people were wandering back because sitting for a little bit, that's the longest they've been outside at a show with other people in close proximity. And so maybe some kids didn't even feel comfortable, so they felt more comfortable standing in the back watching it. Yeah. But then they're also looking and going, hey, there's the t-shirt table. Hey, I can get another Chick-fil-A sandwich. Hey, their ice cream guy's still open. Yeah. You know, we had people come and get a hot chocolate and coffee before the thing was over because they saw us setting up the Starbucks. Thank you, Starbucks, for your donation to be able to make that happen for us. But all the hot chocolate, the hot water for hot chocolate and the coffee, like it was a total hit. Because kids were cold, wrapped up in blankets, and I think that was one of my funniest things. Was like watching kids like kind of be in blankets, but like kind of paying attention. But everybody had like little capes. Yeah, so it's like those are both superheroes.
Yeah, my biggest disappointment was I forgot to cash in my dessert voucher. That I was so like focused in on like youth pastor mode. I'm like, all these kids are coming, like kids are coming in late, and everyone's like, when are you gonna get your dessert? And I'm just like, I gotta make sure everyone's here. And then once like I saw everyone like in and seated, I was like, time for dessert, and they're like packed up, and they're like, we're gone, dude. And I'm just like holding on to this little ticket. Like, no.
Bro, the ice cream man left me with like 100 bars of everything with stuff packed on dry ice. And so I was sitting back there, and at the end, I just started throwing ice creams to kids when they were going.
Where was I?
We were mixing them in the hot chocolates. I took dry ice and put it in my hot chocolate. I couldn't drink that one. It turned toxic.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. But it looked really cool. Just like chocolatey, bubbly, like wispy. And the kids were like, "Oh!" I was like, "Oh no!" Now
You
the
can't
kids
drink this.
now the kids are trying to play with dry ice.
ice.
But
That's fine.
nobody got hurt. I did it all. So
That's good. Awesome. One of my favorite memories, I'll start with a silly one. One of my favorite silly memories was when the spoken word artist, who did an amazing job, by the way, was it Alexander James?
Alexander James.
Alexander
Props.
James.
Thank you, Alexander.
Awesome job.
Right.
One of my favorite parts was when he was like, doing his opening bit about how he's from, I think, L.A. Was that where he said?
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I'm just so used to every time I do a church event, I'm just the helicopters flying over and stuff like that. And maybe like 5 minutes after, he was like, but I'm just thankful we're in San Diego where that kind of stuff doesn't happen. Helicopter immediately goes right over his head. And I think everyone just looks at each other like,
Yep, we're here. We're in Lemon Grove.
yeah, I was like, I don't think he knows what part of San Diego we're in. But hey, man, I loved everything that went down. I mean, I think for me, again, it was just like coming from a smaller church and having a like collaborated youth group with other churches from smaller churches, seeing everyone's faces like we've never been to anything like this, and just like there was definitely that kind of like huge intimidation.
Right.
Like I was like, I don't think I've seen 40 Shire kids.
Right.
like everybody was just like, oh man, it's so many people. But
Right.
just like seeing that kind of like that ice or that like the ice being broken and
Right.
just stuff like that, and just
It's like,
everyone.
oh yeah, I used to be a kid. I used to do this all the time.
Exactly. So just kind of seeing
was
everybody warm up to a crowd, and again, just having not been in such a large crowd in such a long time,
Right.
And to do it safely, I thought
Right,
that was
right.
great. Next question: do you have a favorite project that wasn't one of the top 3 that we're about to highlight? Oh, I should. Chris, how about you go first?
Yeah. I have to be biased and say that my students'
liked
project
yours?
was pretty awesome. Dough for
Yours,
the
guys,
Popo.
Dough
Right.
for the popo.
Dough for the popo.
That was pretty exciting. We got to go visit some police stations, get a little tour action, and we brought them some pizza. So that was a lot of fun.
I'll definitely say, since I was the one who like looked through all the videos, one of the best edited videos. And I'll take some pride
It's
in
because
it.
you've been teaching Chris how to edit.
Yeah.
It wasn't even me.
Oh, was it you?
It was the student.
Oh, there
my
you
gosh.
go. Yeah. Was it Phil Mora?
I don't know what you used.
A true student-led
student-made-
project.
wow,
that's right.
Unlike yours.
The students led the project. It was just the video. I'll admit that
Hey,
was all
we're
adults.
going to get to that. That's in
Yeah.
question number 3. So
Yeah, that's
we don't
in
want
there.
to jump ahead.
There you go.
Good job, Tony. Way to nail that out.
Yeah. No one said student-made video, but anyway, great video though.
It was
Yeah.
good video. I thought especially in the climate of, I liked that there was variety,
Yeah.
like where there were people on all sides of different political issues, social
Mm.
issues, whatever. But in a climate right now that there's not a lot of attention being paid to first responders
Sure.
or whatever, because like the narrative is not that right now.
Yeah.
And so I just thought that it was pretty gutsy for you as a youth staff to do that and to make something so definitively different than a lot of the other projects. So well done. I
thought it was great.
I was very happy about that.
I didn't even pick the project, even though my brother's a police officer too.
Right? That's
so that
awesome.
was student picked.
There you go.
That's Discipleship 101.
There you go. Nice.
Well, I think it wasn't my biggest disappointment, but the 3 of us that were judging when we're judging the top 14, like I had a different top 3 altogether. And so, so like looking at them, like what I thought was top 3, they were great projects. Once you got to the top 5, the top 5 or 6 projects, it could have gone either way,
Sure.
1 point up, 1 point down. And really, our emphasis is not who's going to be number 1, who's going to be number 2. The emphasis is and it's even for me, not even how much money did you raise.
Yeah.
I think that was a big factor in number 1. But I think that more than just money raised, I just really like the creativity of trying to do something outside the box.
Yeah.
And multi-leveled projects where it's not just we raised money, we did this and this happened, but it's like did this, created this. Like even for your project, I'm sure you're going to talk about it, but I love that there was a business created, and then there was ministry that happened, and then there was camaraderie formed around that business, and then people could donate, and then there was partnerships of other ministries, and then there was international. I like the complexity. It might not always make the most amount of money, but I think getting the most amount of kids to think about the different stages of creating a business model, a ministry model, having the camaraderie, putting those things together, selling, bringing people on board to help accomplish the goal, working internationally. Like to me, I think that those things are great. So I think my favorite one that I really enjoyed was one of our staff members in Mexico, Moy,
Yeah.
like the
Oh, yeah.
amount of things that happen to go to the Tijuana River.
Yeah.
And then and we're not talking about 100 homeless people, 200
Yeah.
homeless people. We're literally talking about thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
homeless people underneath all the verandas and bridges. And I think the visual of them at nighttime,
That was
just
nice.
with an iPhone, just walking out and just seeing, and I think the one visual that stuck with me, like you see, do you remember Batman in the 80s and the 90s,
Burton.
Gotham, Tim Burton,
Yeah.
Gotham, where it was whatever, and there's
Yeah.
people huddled around trash
Yeah,
can
okay.
fires
Yeah,
with
yeah.
whatever. And so literally
that Tim
as the
Burton
thing,
feel, yeah.
yes, there was a trash can, a dumpster fire where
Yep.
people are getting warm around that with tires. And I was just man, we think sometimes about our homeless situation in San Diego, which is definitely here and prevalent.
Sure.
But when you think about literally families traversing thousands of miles to try to come to the United States, not being able to get there, and then being stuck in a river valley in Tijuana, to me, just to be able to see that, obviously depth of impact, there's only so much you can do if you're doing handouts to people that are in those areas, but just the creativity and the guts of kids to be able to go into that environment. My parents would be like, yeah, you ain't going out to serve tonight. No,
Yeah.
You are not Batman.
I know,
So
right?
anyway,
Well,
so I just really appreciate that project.
And what was cool too about that one is they had so much stuff left over after leaving the river valley. They went to the tent camps
Right, yep.
right by the border. So
Right.
Yeah, I wish
So-
we could have showed all of it during that
Yeah.
night, but it
Right.
was just there was so much good footage.
Right,
We
right.
had to trim it down to the first 2 minutes, but that was
Crazy,
yeah,
crazy
it was
good.
insane.
So anyway,
We'll
that
put a
was
link to that in the
one of my
description as
favorite
well.
projects. So shout out to Moy and Northern Baja and Tijuana for just really doing great work in Jesus' name.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, you know what? Before we get into the some of the winners, let's check out a quick highlight reel and just see a brief overlook of what went down that night.
This year, during a pandemic, there were 681 students involved in service projects, loving others in the name of Jesus. Let's clap it up for all of you. That's amazing. It's amazing. Jesus said that if we follow him, he'll make us into fishers of men and women. My message to churches is that fish always travel in schools. Missions does not require us to cross an ocean or a border. Missions can happen every day when believers dare to cross the street, to love kids on their own turf. Can't be quarantined. COVID-19 has not stopped the gospel from going out to teenagers. In fact, the disruptions, uncertainty, and isolation caused by this unusual season has made young people more receptive to the security found in Christ. We believe God wants to send more churches to reach public school students throughout the United States. There's over 50 million kids right now in America waiting to meet Jesus.
All right, second place winner, Hilltop High and Spring Valley Academy. Hilltop High and Spring Valley Academy, please come up with your rep.
First place in Project 25 of 2021 National City Middle School and Sweetwater High School. All right, can we give it up to them one more time? Your 2021 Project 25 first place winner!
That was a well-made
Dude.
video.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, well done.
That was
Like
nice.
I think I like the aerial shots, looking out and see the whole thing. I like to be able to see the visual of what's
Yeah.
going on.
Great event.
But, yeah, great
Definitely
event.
not my editing. That was professional editing.
That was all Chris.
Right.
Is that you?
Uiarte.
Oh yeah, not
Different
this
Chris.
one, but a different one.
I was about to say, what?
Chris without the beard.
There you go. Awesome. Well, let's talk
Yep.
about. Let's jump into talking about the first place winner, which was Sweetwater, correct?
And National City Middle.
Sweetwater and National City Middle. Before we talk about it, let's watch their
Watch
video.
the video.
Yeah, another video that we're gonna watch right now.
Me llamo Lucía Calderón Álvarez. Queríamos ayudar a nuestra familia, a nuestra sangre, aún en estos tiempos difíciles. No podíamos soportar escucharlos gritar pidiendo ayuda. Mientras tanto, nosotros sentados. Entonces decidimos tomar medidas sobre la crisis que está atravesando. Queremos que sepan que los amamos. Queremos que sepan que Dios los ama.
My name is Melvin Andres. We asked the community for donations and they responded. National cities, San Diego, Tijuana, the Sweetwater and Southwest soccer team, and even as far as Nebraska, all answered and came together to give these kids what they needed, but also what they wanted.
This is going to be so helpful for everyone. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I wish I could bring you inside, or I wish I could bring you footage of what's inside of the convention center. I can't, but just know that this is going to be so welcome. A lot of the girls there come from like very religious backgrounds, Christianity specifically, and they requested Bibles and Christian literature. So, this is huge. It's going to be really helpful. Thank you.
Dude, I love seeing that. Like I love all the work. Like I was working with Aaron during that time, and like literally he left my meeting to go find and gather more resources because they had scoured every place in South Bay trying to get school supplies, trying to get soccer balls, trying to get whatever. And so knowing that they're putting all those packages together, like well done.
Insane.
Like that was crazy cool, especially in your area too, for getting people to contribute and to jump on and to come alongside. He was just like, God is doing crazy stuff. What were you gonna say?
Their project really took off. And what was funny is I remember talking with Aaron before they even started, and he was like, yeah, at National City, she's young, she's new, she's never done projects before. I think we'll just probably bless like the office staff here at our
Right.
school.
And she was like, I want to win.
Yep.
And then the other kid was like, oh, I want to do the best project ever. And then he was like, he told me he was like trying to temper their expectations.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's good. That's a
Guys,
great
guys,
place
guys.
to start. But he said that as the project developed, he just saw God's hand
It just
kept
grew.
on adding, and then nonprofits were helping contribute, and then he had in-kind donations, and then he had people doing matching grants, and then pretty soon he's like, bro, I almost got in the way of what God was doing because I was shooting too low, but the kids were shooting so high, and he's like, he was just so excited.
You
So
didn't
awesome.
even
Props to Aaron.
mention the mayor of National City even recognized them.
That's right.
Really?
That's right. All
So,
right. I
pretty
forgot about
crazy.
that. Yeah.
That's insane. And,
Crazy.
and I don't know if they mentioned it in the video. I might have missed it. What was the exact number? Because it's an insane number. From $100, they raised
They were at $4,700.
Yeah.
Above,
Almost
above the 100.
$4,700. Like,
Almost
let's talk
five.
about that for a second. Like,
Right.
how incredible is that? Like, this is my
Students
first
in
year.
the South Bay too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the South Bay.
During a pandemic.
Yeah. 47
When
guys.
things are shut still.
Right. That would have stood up to other projects in other years
yeah.
where things weren't shut down.
Yeah.
That was that same kind of level of like engagement. So well done.
insane.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
There's a question we have later on here. How is it that Sweetwater keeps on winning? We're going to investigate. We're sending out an exploratory team to make sure that there's no underhanded stuff going on. But
kind of like, is there some illegal drafting going on or
Right.
some recruiting?
some of the staff are just
Like-
going, sure, Aaron wins again, of course,
Like they're just like recruiting like kids from other schools, like
right?
but hey, props to him, man. Aaron, that
Good job,
video
man.
was insane. That
Yeah.
video was awesome.
And your schools.
and the school, the kids were just awesome. Great kids.
Solid.
Great kids. Well, I guess now let's talk about. It says an interview with a Project 25 second place winner.
Let me go ahead and take that on. So, hey, we have a special guest for you coming into our studio right now. And it is bing right here. Pastor Joemel is now no longer representing the UIC show. He's now representing the
switching
second
hats?
place. Yeah, you're representing the second place winner for Project 25.
I should throw on a UIC hat.
There you go.
Like,
So,
I'm
so
seeing
it looks like
Pastor
there you go.
repping
There you
UIC.
go.
It's too tight. I've got a big old head.
So Joemel, we're gonna watch your video.
Yeah, let's check the
Let's
video.
watch the video.
I think the video is hilarious. So check it out.
Hi, my name is Patricia and I'm a student at Otay Ranch High School.
My name is Angela and I'm a student at Eastlake High.
My name is Kamari and I'm a student at Hilltop High School.
My name is Ruben and I am a student at Spring Valley Academy.
And this is our Project 25 story.
Kamaria?
Oh, my turn. So here's what happened. So it all started one night during discipleship. I wasn't there yet, but like I heard what happened. I wish I was there, but I think I had practice.
Kamaria!
Yes. So PJ came in during discipleship and was like, "Hey guys, it's Project 25," and we were like, "Bet, we're down. What should we do?" So PJ's all like, "There's this Christian hospital in Alcalan, Philippines that helps people in need and shares the gospel, but they lost a lot of money during COVID and had to shut down. So they were like, hey, can you help us?" And PJ was like, "For sure, I think we can." And then he was like, "What can we do?"
This is close enough.
So then Patricia was like, "I can make bomb jewelry. What if we sold that and sent that money to the hospital?" And PJ was like, "Yo, that's a dope idea. Let's do it." Then my friend Hannah found out and she was like, "Yo, I want to help too." And then we did it and now we're here.
Thanks, Kamaria. That's pretty much it. Together, the girls from Cross Connection started our company, Cross Connection Jewelry. We met up 2 to 3 times a week to work, made an Instagram account, and started selling jewelry to our friends and family.
What's even better is that we found 2 mission organizations to match our donation, essentially tripling everything we make to give to the hospital. So far, we've raised over $500, which means that we're going to be able to send $1,500 to the hospital in Aklan.
We hope that our story was a blessing and an inspiration. And through helping this hospital, we will be able to help people both physically and spiritually for years to come.
I want to know how long. Okay, I don't want to know who did it yet,
Yes.
but I'm going to say, like, if there was an editing, a bunch of things that had to happen there, how much longer did that take to edit than like a regular video?
You know what?
Theoretically.
Surprisingly, how much longer did it take? It was surprisingly really fast.
Really?
Like, I don't know, like, it just, everything just kind of fit really well.
They shot it well, yeah.
Yeah, they shot well. Like, everything, you know, kind of fell into piece. Like,
Yeah.
it was clean. I would say the most nerve-wracking part was us thinking, like, is it easy or is it possible and legal to get the Ant-Man soundtrack in the video to make, like, the obvious Ant-Man connection?
Yep.
And, yeah, it was, like, easy to find. It took me, like, 5 minutes to find it, download it, and it worked out.
And pay royalties.
Great video.
Well, yeah, no, it was copyright-free.
Oh, bam!
Yeah.
There we go. So,
Yeah.
so if the video is taken down, we'll know because
Yeah.
we just brought attention to it.
And
there
now
you go.
now you know Disney just uses copyright-free music.
Yeah, even Disney has to, you know, will use royalty-free. They don't have to pay for everything, you know?
They own most of it.
Exactly. they probably bought, like, the ancient jazz musician who made it. Like,
Right.
his family.
It was
estate.
fun. I mean,
Yeah.
just seeing the kids things like as soon as the first line happened, I was like, oh no, man, they're Ant-Man-ing it out.
Yeah.
And like, but I thought it was gonna get like cheesy, like it was gonna start well,
Yeah.
and then it was gonna go into a regular video, and I was like, dude, they went all in.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, good job, students.
I'm glad enough people caught it.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Those that know. So
Yeah.
that was great. So how is the continuing? Here's something. I had students from your church actually reach out to me the week after Project 25 to ask if I was still interested to buy jewelry. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I
Nice.
had told them that I would love that the project was still happening, and you
awesome.
guys were supporting. I think for the next year, you guys were trying to support the hospital and
We're
the
gonna
work
keep it
going
up
on in the
there.
Philippines.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, they reached out to me. I ghosted them, but
That's okay.
So if you can hear me right now, text me back, and I will respond this time. It was just I wasn't doing anything about Project 25 the week after. I was just, I was in hibernation mode.
The Hangover.
Yep, I was in my hibernation hangover. Not real, but yes.
Not that kind.
Yeah,
but
just trying to stay away from anything Project 25 related.
Absolutely.
So anyway, since you had so much success with the video, tell me about the process. Like how to work with the students. How was it like motivating them come up with the project? Like how that'll happen.
Awesome. Great question. So, I think I've mentioned in previous episodes, this was our first real Project 25. I mean, last year was real, but it was a much more lower key because of the pandemic. It was just really rough getting out of the house. So this year, I brought it up to the kids, and it was kind of like blank stares, well, what kind of causes are there? You know what I mean? Homeless people is all the only thing we can think of.
That's all we can do, right?
Yeah, and I remember jokingly, I shared the story during a staff meeting because we're working together, we're trying to think of a cause, and I remember simultaneously my pastor was like asking me, hey, could you help me with this fundraiser? This hospital back home in the Philippines is going through this, like really rough time. And, we want to help like bring it back to life because, like they're going to shut it down. Like it's already shut down.
It's at that point.
Yeah, like it's already been shut down. And then so he's asking me all this, and I'm kind of just like nodding my head, like, okay, yeah, cool, I can help you.
I've got work to do on Project 25.
Yeah, I really got to think of a cause for Project 25, though.
I have to raise money for something. Don't you
Yeah.
understand?
I literally thought that. I was like, I don't have time for this. I have to raise money for Project 25, and I don't know what to raise it for. And I remember just like it just clicked. And it worked out. Like, one of my student leaders was like my pastor's son. Other student leaders like go to our church and know people from the hospital. So it really fit. So it's like in the video, that's almost how it went down, minus the voiceover
the
part.
acting part of it.
Yeah, I walked into the room and I said, guys, there's this thing called Project 25. And we had to cut part of it out, but I had to like re-explain to them what Project 25 was. And then I brought up the cause, and then they took it over from there. Like at that point, I left it to them, and they had other ideas that we kind of had to like I had to tone down just because some of them were a little impractical. But then the jewelry thing was what really stuck. So the only thing that I really did from that point was like open up the door to the church office and like drive them to Hobby Lobby twice.
Nice.
And just like in the church van, and that was a mess. Bringing like a dozen teenagers to Hobby Lobby with $200.
They are now banned from Hobby Lobby nationally.
Exactly. Yeah. It was awkward. And then like there was one point where I had to come back and like get all the different jewelry by myself, and that was just a whole awkward thing.
Right.
Funny part was when I went back to Hobby Lobby the second time, the cashier was a student leader from a former like a Liberty Charter Club. She was like, Pastor Joemel, what are you doing here?
Oh, that's
and I was
awesome.
like, long story.
I like to see those things.
But
that's cool.
I see Tony's question. How student-led was this?
Right.
I get what you're hinting at because it looked very adult-produced. So I'll just say this. Yes, the video was 100% like the adults. We wrote it. We directed it. Yeah.
It was not 100%. The students were in it.
The students did a great job acting. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
They killed it. They killed the roles, and they definitely plugged in with the script. But other than just the video, like the kids took over. Like they did an awesome job.
Well, so how about this? So how'd the students feel about how did they feel they did, and then like getting on the podium?
Yeah.
Like, was that a surprise to them? What did they think?
Oh man.
Did they want number one?
No. It's just it brings back one of the awkward memories of my lifetime. They loved it. They were super happy. They didn't even. We were just like like praying like God, it'd be cool if we could be in top 3, but we're just we were just happy to be there. The awkward part was I asked the entire group, said, hey, if we win. So I don't know if this is like pulling back the veil, but Nate actually gives people a heads up if they're going to win top 3 or give the leaders.
Top 3 at least, then, hey, be there because something's going to happen to you.
Exactly. Yeah. So he gave me the heads up, and I kind of gave 2 of my like very eloquent student leaders like the heads up, like, hey, if we win something,
you need to speak.
Yeah, you need to speak. Like, get up there and say something in front of the mic. So and then when we like beforehand, I told all the kids, like, if we win, everybody get up. Long story short, they call our name. Everyone gets shy, stays down. The only people who go up are like the 2 student leaders and like 2 girls that were like semi-attached to the project. Like they were just kind of like there, but they just wanted to like be part of the speeches. You know who you are. You watch the show. And we just laughed so much about it. But I mean, they were definitely part of the project. But then when they got up there, the host gave the mic to the girl who like was not prepared to answer the question.
That's awesome.
And I mean,
that's natural. That's television.
Oh yeah, that's television for you. And I'm just like crossing her fingers, like, please don't say anything awkward. So she starts her speech, and it's going good. She says something like, this project was, really meaningful to the people of my church family. A lot of them, Philippines is a place that's very near and dear to their hearts because so many of our church is from there. And then she pauses and goes, except me, technically, because I'm like one of the only white girls at this church.
That was hilarious.
And then I was just like, you don't have to say that.
No,
like,
it was funny. It was because all the kids are sitting there going, "That's a youth group."
Oh yeah,
highlight of the night.
Hey, how about this? How about any advice for people in future years? Now, listen, you don't have to have an expertly produced video to win. It might look like that, but that's not the point of Project 25. We just happen to have somebody that's got some skills, and so don't let that preclude you in the future from submitting a great project and then documenting it on an iPhone.
Or reach out to us and let us know, and we can help you.
Absolutely, yeah.
We can rent out Joemel for you for how much?
I know, right? We've talked about. No, I mean, I don't obviously we don't want it to be a thing where we make videos for everybody.
It's not top this, top that.
But yeah. But I think by all means, like if anyone needs a resource on how to make a cleaner video or how to teach your students, like I think next year maybe I could
cool class.
Bring in like if you want like an optional thing on a Saturday, if you want to bring in the student leader who's making a video,
right?
Like I could do a quick like 1 hour like here's some tips and tricks. To like on any type of video.
We could seriously offer that. Like if people had their stuff done like a week before the whatever, and just if not Saturday, and we just said, hey, for any groups that are trying to struggle on getting your project done, Joemel's going to come do a tutorial, tips and tricks, and then you could bring all the stuff here, and then we could actually help students like put together their videos.
Yeah, that's one thing that we thought.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but as far as advice goes, I think one of like the things that you said was great earlier, like. Don't get in the way of what God wants to do, because I think I found myself doing the same thing as Aaron.
It sounded like Aaron. I was like, that's the key.
Yeah, at least kind of like I wanted to just keep downplaying.
Try to kibosh it and then let God just run it.
Exactly. So I would just say like just let God run it. Like, of course, if the kids think of a cause, if youth, whether it's you discover a cause or the kids discover a cause, like once the kids get it, just let them run with it. And I would just say just keep pushing to let God do His thing instead of just like getting overly anxious like I probably was, like, oh man, like are we shooting too high, are we trying to do too much, is this
and I would say this, just from being a previous winner of the Pro 25 award, I would also agree, like the good projects, they kind of fall on you, or like God kind of leads you to them. Like every year you do the same groundwork trying to get ready for this, and then some years it just like clicks and goes to the next level.
Sure.
And you're like, whoa, how did that happen? So you can't really plan that success. I mean, you can ask the Spirit to come be a part of it, but sometimes there's like something of an anointing that kind of happens, and it kind of takes your project to like the next level. And you're like, and then the next year you try to copy that again, and it doesn't happen, and you're like, I did all the work, how come it didn't work? So let God lead you. That's what I would suggest and say that. So,
and maybe like one quick thing I just want to add is like, I don't think there's any shame or anything wrong with like, like some people are like, oh, what if like the best I can do is maybe turn $100 to like $200-$300 and just do something for like something close by. And it's like, I think I saw a lot of those projects that are maybe some would call it low key, but like, to go back to the Matthew 25 parable, like, the guy who went from 5 to 10 was like, well done, my good and faithful servant. The one who went from 2 to 4 was well done, or was it? No, it was 10. Was it 10 to 20? And then
5 to 10.
5
to 10.
2 to 4.
Yeah, and then honestly, and I always tell people, like, of course we don't know what would have happened, but if the guy who had 1 went from 1 to 2, I guarantee the master would have been happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't have to be like the biggest, flashiest thing. Like, if you want to be a part of it and you think that the kids will do something, I say like go for it. Like, there's no losers here.
Yeah, no losers here. And I just do want to emphasize that, like obviously COVID was hard. And so all of our schools have different levels. Like you had youth kids in your church that you could actually lean in more.
Exactly.
Like I heard Jesse
Huge
talking
advantage,
about some of his clubs have been dormant for 6 months. And then he was like trying to get kids to want to do stuff. And he's got 1 or 2 kids and they're not very motivated. And so he's just like, we're just going to do the best we can so we can be faithful. And so he didn't want to bury the talent. And so well done to all of our projects. I think almost all of our schools turned things in, and we had like
everyone turned it in.
We had 100% return on
really?
that. So
that's awesome.
I don't think we normally get 100%. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
So like what, 48, 49 out of 50 or something like that?
Last year we were at 49.
Right.
Yeah. So close.
So that, I mean, that's a win. I mean, we take away just the thing, like to get all the schools participating where they all invested and did something for the kingdom. And like I said, we're not talking bad about, raising some money, buying some candy bars, going down and giving it to like a local homeless area shelter.
Yeah.
But anyway, so.
And as far as I know, I don't think anyone sat on their $100 and like went back to Nate like, yeah, we were scared we were going to lose it. You know,
here, give us $100 back.
Exactly.
Here's their money back. So great job. Hey, last thing I have, one of your student leaders were performing. Are they quality to good enough to be? Are we going to see them in Hollywood someday?
Yes. Shout out to my girl Kamaria, who actually was like, because it was a combined project with Hannah Macias's student group, her youth group. She came along, and it really was just like the video. Like she just heard about it and was like, "Hey, I don't know what this hospital in the Philippines is up to, but I want to be a part of this."
That's awesome.
And she did so great. She was there every single week,
Nailed it.
just making the jewelry by hand. By the way, like they really made those things by hand. It was impressive. And then the acting. So I brought the skit up to them, and then she just like took it.
Nice.
Like it was just a suggestion. It was just an idea that came to me, and then she just kills it. And this girl, like, yes, I 1,000% believe, like, if she sticks with it, like, she could be a shining light in the wicked place that is Hollywood.
Right.
If she wants to be an actress, like, she could be.
That's good.
She could kill it. You know, get some Pure Flix. You look into this girl, sign her for something.
There you go.
Because she's an amazing actress. So shout out to you guys.
Ben
Hannah had
Shapiro.
a nice cameo in there too.
Oh yeah. I think me and Hannah also deserve like an Oscar for our acting. That was our lip syncing was.
It was spot on. Spot on.
It was bad.
Well, that's awesome. So, well, hey, we just want to encourage you guys. Look forward towards next year.
Yes.
There are so many things that are going to need to be done as we kind of emerge from society back out into public again, and kind of crawling out of the gutters that was our last year of Netflix binge watching.
Yeah.
So, as we do, start thinking about ahead towards next year. Like I heard students last year talking about. Or 2 years ago, I actually talking about, oh man, we need to beat, whoever. So you top three, they're gunning for you. So
There you go.
there's groups that are already saying we can come up with something better than that. And like I said, the whole purpose is not for us to like top this, top that, but actually just really do good quality, sustainable ministry where students are leading the charge.
Absolutely.
And so that's what Project 25 is, us empowering students to take it to the next level. And so, how cool is it that you see a cashier working years later that recognizes you and remembers Project 25 from the times past.
Yeah.
That happened to me a couple times too. People see me and they're
funny.
like, "Hey, aren't you the guy that was doing stuff at Hoover?"
Yeah.
And so like you're making an impact. So all of you campus club leaders, campus club schools, as you're all getting back together as Bible clubs, and staff, as you are mobilizing your students for love and good deeds, just know this stuff makes a difference. So think about this stuff for next year.
Chris, could you tell us, like, if someone's watching right now and they missed out on this opportunity and they're thinking to themselves, I got to be a part of this in 2022. 2022. Project 26. I'm just kidding.
Project
they want to be part
25,
next year. Yeah.
2022.
Yes. How did they? That was an inside joke.
Yeah, I got you.
Watch last week's episode. But Chris, fill us in. How can they take part?
Yeah, well, reach out to us. You can always email us. You can go on our website. You can check us out on Facebook, on YouTube. You're already on YouTube. But just reach out to us. And I mean, I would say start with serving on campus. We can if you're a student and you want to get involved in a Christian club, I know schools are going to be open in fall, so we can talk about how to get that going. And if you're a youth pastor and you're not involved, reach out to us and let us know, and we'd love to help get you serving on campus. And I would say too, just be aware it's going to happen. It happens every February is when we register. So go to proj25.org, proj25.org, and be ready. And we also got this compilation video you did, so maybe we could just add a card for that. We don't need to show any of it here.
We don't got to show it, but there'll be a link in the description.
There. Yep, and also Atlanta, right? We can link Atlanta.
Yeah,
we should play a little clip of Atlanta too, just here, because we had Lecrae. So
I think so.
Let's play a little bit.
Here's what Atlanta looked like, by the way.
One of my favorite characters in the Bible is Jonah, because Jonah was just like us. He was wrestling with his mission and his master. If you know the story of Jonah, God tells Jonah, he says, hey, get on this boat and go sail to this place or go to this land called... And the first place winner is X Factor Track Club. Congratulations!
So that was legit.
First year in Atlanta, super
Right.
cool.
And I'm just going to say, sorry.
The Lecrae footage isn't going to be there forever, right? Don't we have like copyright? For
No,
like
we
a
can
month?
play it.
We can still play it?
Nice. Yeah.
Like after that?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And this is just like me, like being optimistic. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it would be super dope if we could someday get him to come to one of the live Project 25
That's
nights.
hopefully the plan for
That's
next
the
year.
plan, right? Fingers crossed. Now, Chris, you were talking about getting plugged into UIC. I know the episode's almost over, but I hear that there's some positions open.
Yeah, we do have some ministry position opportunities. So if you're interested in that, you serve schools and you would like to maybe reach out to us about employment, you can do that too. If you would like to submit a job application, you can go to our website, uic.org/employ.html. So if you're interested, let us know. Send us an email, and we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. That's exciting. I love the fact that the team's growing and that we're just continuing to do awesome things. Brent, anything you want to say to close us out?
No, just saying, hey, thanks for checking us out today on the UIC show. I hope this is edifying to you.
Yes.
For all of our viewers nationwide, even Texas. We know you're watching. I know we have 2 viewers in Texas.
There you go.
That's exciting.
We should give a shout out to our friend.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sitting in Chris's seat, so I have to say his closing line. Check out our website, uic.org. You can email us at podcast@uic.org. I'm like looking at Chris blankly, like
say something, Chris. At Chris.
At podcast@uic.org. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe and share this with your friends.
That's right.
That'd be great. We miss you, Jesse. We made it without you, though.
Cornbread.
In the absence of.
Thanks for taking this ride.
Take the ride.
Was that the thing?
I don't know. We don't know if there's the thing. We'll see you next week.
End credits scene.